All right, man. So, I've been hearing this topic that's been going on for quite a while. There's been talks about Jimmy Garoppolo, why he didn't play in the NFC Championship game. There's a lot speculations. I'm hearing different reports. It kind of makes me wonder, why was Jimmy Garoppolo smiling in the first place? And I had to find the conclusion of what was going on. So everything's been reported about that he didn't want to go out there and something to do with Shanahan. At some point there was gonna be something that was gonna burn this bridge at some point. And then you see the reports from Shanahan does not want to bring back Jimmy Garoppolo. He's already not even considered bringing him back at this point. There's a lot behind the scenes that I'm pretty much not aware of. I don't blame Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm using that on the fence of Jimmy Garoppolo. But at some point, I would not want to play for an organization that kind of treated me like shit, bro. First of all, you replace me with a guy who can't even stay healthy. And then I come in and take a cheap-ass deal. I take a discount just to come back to be a starter. Just so I can skyrocket my value once again. And this is how you repay me. That's how Jimmy Garoppolo feels. Realistically, man, I know some of us fans will probably feel ungrateful for his time there, and then some of them feel very appreciative of him. But who wants to work with a stubborn head coach that doesn't have no faith in you, let alone, he doesn't trust you? If you saw what you saw with Brock Purdy, he let Brock Purdy throw more than he's ever thrown. He's even let this guy pass the ball more in the playoffs, pass more ball that he's ever seen. Because during his time, Shanahan would try to be very limited with Jimmy. He wouldn't even give him the full benefit to throw the ball more than he usually does. And it's kind of showing signs. And then Jimmy Garoppolo, despite what everybody thinks of Jimmy Garoppolo, you got to give him his credit for being very professional and keeping shit low-key quiet. That's the only thing I'll give him his credit for. But as far as a teammate, man, they love playing for this guy. Despite his record, he's winning football games. But when you look at what's been going on, he doesn't communicate much with his teammates during the offseason. He disappears. That's only been the only concerning factor. That's the problem right there. But the thing is, some of you guys may say, well, it's time to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo, which I believe it is time to move on. But I would not blame him. Why would I want to come back to an organization that's treating me like shit? I would hate to be where I'm at. You don't have no plans for me. You're not giving me a starting job the way it's supposed to be. It's not going to be fair. I want to have an opportunity to be a starter once again. I want to get paid fairly the right way. I want to be around a team and a coach who believes in me and doesn't have no intentions to replace me at any point. I want to be a guy who can build this team to the right direction, but instead I'm in this situation with this stubborn head coach that's trying to do too much and thinks he knows what the hell he's doing on those other times. But the problem is, I feel like everybody just needs to realize, hey, we'll see how he does. Let's see how his market value is going to be. Because, there's going to be a team that's going to want Jimmy Garoppolo. The only question is the head coach going to have some more confidence in this guy? Because if Shanahan didn't have confidence with him then, it's possible that maybe there's a lot of coaches who feel the same way if they see how he plays, or maybe it's different. Maybe it's just Shanahan being stubborn. Maybe it's Shanahan just talking down on his players that we don't know. It's behind the scenes. We don't know. We know that their relationship is kind of low-key, kind of like whatever. There's not really much a good relationship. It's like bad blood between those two guys. So it kind of tells me that how is he going to work well with these other quarterbacks? Because he doesn't seem to talk positive about them. He talks too down on these guys. And that's the problem with Shanahan. He's stubborn. He's ignorant. He doesn't have trust in some of his quarterbacks. And the fact that he puts his quarterbacks in so much danger at times, bro, it's ridiculous. This season alone, you get him to come back on a cheap-ass deal when he should get a little bit more than he deserves and actually deserves an opportunity elsewhere, but nobody wanted him. He took the surgery just so he can recover just in time to compete for another team, go play for another football team. But instead, there was no trade value. Nobody wanted him, and that's what we did. We decided to take a discount off of him. We told him, hey, Jimmy, we want you back. Oh, just take a pay cut, man. We'll keep you as a backup and all that shit. That's more like you're taking fucking less and you're going down to the fucking level, bro. It's like you've been demoted. You're going to take a far less pay and then you're going to be the backup. That's what it seemed like to me. And he probably just said, all right, man, I ain't tripping. Nobody wants me. Oh, well. But it just didn't turn out to be exactly the way he was hoping for. As soon as he got an opportunity to take the starting job, the Niners started winning games. And then once he got injured, this young kid, Brock Purdy, takes over and does a lot more than Jimmy's ever done. And what really kind of frustrates some Jimmy fans and other people in general is Shanahan has more trust in Brock Purdy than he's ever had with Jimmy Garoppolo's entire career. Look at the playoff stats. Look at the entire games he's played. He's looked a lot better than what Jimmy Garoppolo's looked like. And he's just a last pick in the draft. It's kind of like suspect, Maybe he didn't want Jimmy to begin with. Maybe there's just something behind the scenes that nobody knows. And we're just kind of getting on to the conclusion of it. And I think that's what's going to happen. Shanahan doesn't have to retain him because he's a free agent. Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't have to come back here because he's a free agent. He can do what the hell he wants. He can either go play for Josh McDaniels down in with the Raiders. He can go to another team. He can go to any other team that needs a quarterback. Maybe the Houston Texans. Maybe the New York Jets. Or maybe the Miami Dolphins. There's just a lot of possibilities. Like, he can go to any other team that needs a quarterback. Having him as a veteran quarterback on their team is a plus. He wins games and he's got experience. Just the injury issues has been the problem. But I think otherwise he's been a very capable starter. But that's my thoughts, man. So let me know, faithful, if y'all disagree or agree with it. I just think maybe that's what's been going on behind the scenes we're not aware of. And maybe that's why he didn't suit up. Because I think he looked like he was clear and healthy to play. But the problem was maybe the ego between Shanahan made him just sit down. Or maybe Jimmy just refused to go out there. Maybe Jimmy just was looking out for himself. Maybe Jimmy Garoppolo was looking in his best interest. Which I don't blame him. Dude, if you were treated like shit and you weren't getting the fair chance that you wanted, bro, would you want to stay on the fucking team? Probably not. But that's keeping it a buck, man. But I'll see you guys later. And as always, go Niners.